Hey everyone, in this video I want to talk a bit about risk. So for those that have been watching my videos for a while now, you'll recall that probably 4 or 5 months ago I went and got my learner's permit for motorbikes and bought a trike, and have sort of been travelling all over the countryside riding the trike and loving it. You know, it's opened up a whole world for me, and it's been great wind therapy, and look, it's been really good, great fun to do. Christmas Day went for a ride and had a minor incident on the trike, which took it off the road for a few days, awaiting repairs and so forth. My fault. I got no issue with that. Got no qualms with that. But certainly on reflection, I think back to that ride and that morning that I took the trike for a ride. And I'd have to say now, hand on heart, that I've had time to reflect on it, that I probably wasn't in the greatest headspace, probably was a bit fatigued and tired, and just probably wasn't in a good mind space to be riding. You know, situational awareness wasn't there, sort of concentration wasn't there, and so forth. And I can say that, you know, I've got no qualms saying that. You know, that was my mistake. On the weekend, I got talking to our neighbours. They're avid Triumph riders and have a collection, I should say, I've got a collection of multiple Triumphs sitting in their garage, and they're out and about, you know, every weekend riding, and like me, they're travelling all over the place. And we got talking a bit about how your perception changes once you've been on the bikes. And I said this in a couple of videos when I did my learner's permit course. You know, it's opened up my eyes to the whole situational awareness and bike awareness and stuff like that. And we're just sharing stories yesterday, having a bit of a chat about it. And one of them was telling me that she was riding her bike to work, and she watched a two-stage extension ladder come off a tradie's ute and nearly strike her. You know, she took evasive action to avoid that, managed to stay on the bike and avoid the ladder. And the other rider was saying that he had a similar one, but it was a bucket of paint, of all things, a 20-litre bucket of paint that came off a trailer and hit the road, and obviously exploded everywhere, splashed everywhere, and so forth. So he ended up riding through that paint, and obviously did damage to his bike from a cosmetic perspective, but not physical damage. But again, we're just talking about how those things sort of make you more aware of what's going on around you. And I certainly said to them that since I've been on the bike or the trike, I've taken a lot more notice of things like load restraint. Suddenly I'm looking at trucks and utes and trailers and that sort of stuff. And I'm thinking long and hard as I'm approaching them, looking at what they're carrying, how it's being tied down and restrained, you know, what's the chances of what they're carrying coming off and hitting me. And, you know, it certainly opens up your eyes. And I think that's a really important factor when we're talking about risk with people. You know, I've said for a long time now that people don't know what they don't know. So we put them in a work environment, we ask them to do JSAs, we ask them to write up work permits and things like that. My point being is, if people don't understand the risk that they're being exposed to, then they're not going to identify them as a risk. If they don't see noise as a problem, for example, or dust, and I think dust is very topical, we talk about silica and concrete cutters and things like that, then again, people are not going to recognise that. They're not going to pick that up in their JSAs or their work permits. And the point being here is these experiences that you have will shape your perception of risk. Like I said, I started riding. I've suddenly become more aware of riders and other bikes on the road. I've suddenly now become more aware of load restraint and other vehicles around me and things like that. These things shape how you understand risk. And I think we need to be having these conversations in the workplace. We need to be having conversations with people about the risks they're being exposed to. I think, unfortunately, there's too many in the safety industry that are just coming down, oh, we need this procedure, got to do this, got to do that. You know, we're going through this bureaucratic process and bum cover process with paperwork, and we're not having real conversations around risk and what we're actually being exposed to. You don't know what you don't know. If you don't understand it, you're never going to recognise it as a problem in the first place. Like I said, I did my course and it's totally changed my whole outlook when it comes to motorbikes and bikes and so on. Let me know your thoughts. Comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts about risk and where it fits with yourself. Thanks for your time.